So, 30,000 subscribers. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. My name is Sharath and welcome to Building Beautifully, and this is the 30,000 subscriber special. I cannot believe we're at 30,000 subscribers. That is absolutely insane. 30,000 subscribers, just for context, 30,000 is the population of Mount Gambier in South Australia, and we've now overtaken Mount Gambier, or I think we're close to overtaking, but either way, that's wild. If Building Beautifully's subscriber population was a town, it would be the 50th biggest town in Australia in its own right. So I still can't believe this has happened. When I started Building Beautifully, it was only ever meant to be, you know, my goal was only ever for like 1,000 subscribers. It was never to make money. It was never to have a good following. It was never for any of those things. It was purely just for fun. But now, you know, it's still for fun, but just look how much further I've gotten and how much further we've gotten than I could have ever expected. I mean, for crying out loud, this news article, I never expected that to happen, for crying out loud. But, you know, before I continue, before we get to the questions that I'm going to be answering in this video, just a massive, massive thank you to every single one of you. A YouTube channel is only as good as its subscribers. I always say this, because if there weren't people like you who were interested in this type of stuff, who wanted to learn about this type of stuff, then I would be out of a job, I guess. It's not really my job, but I'm still studying in uni, but I would be out of, I guess, for lack of a better term, I would be out of a job. I'd have no one to talk to. I'd have no one watching me. So, you know, that massive thank you to all of you. Thank you to my Ko-fi supporters who, you know, fund me and allow me to actually set aside the time as a student, you know. Instead of spending hours working on tutoring, I'm able to, you know, I've massively been able to cut down my tutoring hours largely because of my Ko-fi supporters. And, you know, truly just thank you to all of you. You know, even if you can't support me, that's perfectly fine. Even just watching my videos, it means a lot to me to know that, you know, I'm getting views, I'm actually having a voice, and you know, I don't want to say I'm making a difference. I'm bringing awareness to topics. I don't think I've actually changed Sydney yet. I don't know if I ever will change Sydney, but being able to make people more aware of issues that are going on in this city, from, you know, pavements that end in the middle of nowhere, to metro projects that are good but maybe not quite perfect, to light rails that have questionable routes, you know, things like that. You know, it just means a lot to me. Thank you so much to each and every single one of you. So before we get to the questions, I have some very exciting news. Building Beautifully is launching a Discord server. Woohoo, yay! So I've been wanting to start a Discord for a long time because I'm not a genius. I am infallible. Is infallible the right word? Does infallible mean dumb? I am dumb because I don't even know what infallible means. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. So with the Discord server, people like you can finally help me with my videos, you know, like if I have a question, you know, about the Sydney Metro, like, you know, when did they upzone around the Northwest Metro, or, you know, what is better about Sydney's transport compared to Melbourne's, or, you know, questions like that. You know, I can do that on my Discord, but not just that, it's a great place for transport geeks like myself, and for you guys, you know, we can all intermingle, talk to each other, maybe even meet up one day, you never know. I also will, you know, when I'm planning to shoot a video, I will shoot a message in the Discord and invite all of you to come on the film shoot if you happen to be free that day. You'll see in my newest video, which will either come out before this one or after this one. It's the one about Port Kembla. I don't know yet. I think it would have already come out by the time I release this video, but I don't know. So anyway, the Port Kembla video, you'll notice there are like 4 of us there, and you could join that film crew. Like it wasn't just me, it was like 4 of us. You can join on that film crew because of the Discord. So and I even have a Ko-fi specific Discord section, like just for Ko-fi members. You know, but I mean, you don't have to support me, but if you want to support me, you can gain access to those private Ko-fi channels. But, you know, if you can't afford to support me, or if you don't want to support me, that's perfectly fine. There's still plenty of channels for you on Discord. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Make sure you join. I'm super excited about this. It's gonna be a great server. And yeah, let's get into the questions. So my plan for this video. I'm not completely sure how I'm going to edit this yet, but basically my idea, I have some questions I'm going to answer, and then, yeah, we might play a little bit of, I thought I'd, you know, show you a bit of NIMBY Rails. It's a game that I'm playing where you get to basically recreate an entire city network. a city rail network all from scratch in any city, any real world city around the world. From, you know, you could make it in London, Singapore, New York, or Sydney, which is what I did. But we'll get to that in a bit. First, I am going to answer your questions. I have the questions on my iPad. Now, there are 98 questions to get through. 98. So, that's gonna take a while. So what I've done, I've dual screened it because I want to answer every single one of your questions. I don't want to skip anyone. You know, you guys took the time to put these questions in. The least I can do is answer them. But I can't answer them properly, probably because 98 questions is too many for me to do properly. So I'm going to time myself, only 30 seconds per question. It's gonna be very, you know, very short and snappy. I like clicking my fingers. Very short and snappy answers, if that's okay with you. Okay, let's get straight into this. Question 1. What is a normal price to pay for a traffic light to be installed in Sydney, and how much does a wombat crossing cost usually? Asked by Uwu, prioritize pedestrians Uwu. That is quite the username, I love it. 30 seconds starts now. I don't know. It's as simple as that. I have absolutely no idea. I am not a civil engineer yet. I will probably know when I actually get to the internships and to the work placements, but until then, no, I can't answer that. So that was quick. That was 15 seconds. How do you think cities in Australia compare to American cities? Through an urban planning standpoint, of course. I think some Australian cities, I think honestly most Australian cities are ahead of American cities. Sydney is ahead of most American cities. America is a very car-centric city. People, the problems we have in Sydney with everyone wanting to live in suburbia, in big houses, far apart, it's magnified to the nth extent, like 100 times worse in America. Public transport seen as more for the poor than it is here. I think Australia is ahead from an urban planning perspective. We could be doing better, but we are definitely doing better than America. What is your opinion on the ferries around New South Wales? I've always wondered, as you do a lot on civil engineering. By Duck. Very suiting name for a question about ferries and about water. I love the ferries in Australia. I love the ferries in Sydney. They're great. It's really, I think we're one of the few cities that makes ferries a valid form of public transport, but I also feel like we kind of treat them more as a touristy gimmick rather than valid public transport. I mean, we're trying. We're doing okay. More investment in ferries. Don't think of it as just, you know, for tourists. It's for everyone. If you live on the water, it can be so convenient. That is my take on ferries. All right, just on time. I'm gonna have to be even snappier. Like these questions, yeah, I've got to be really quick. So, pedestrian or bike shared bridge over Epping Road at Epping Boys High School. Epping Road, corner of Wimmera Road. Why can't they build more like this across Epping Road? Due to density. Yeah, so e.g. yeah, okay. So why can't they build more share paths on Epping Road is what your question is. Why can't they? I don't know why they can't. Like they absolutely should. I couldn't agree more. Chris Toth is a great channel for that. You should absolutely watch him. He's done some videos in Epping. But no, I don't have a good reason why they can't. They should. I absolutely agree they should. So hopefully they do. Next question. What YouTubers do you recommend based off transport in Sydney? And did you get any inspiration from them? The person T-Sets Transport. T-Sets Transport has a YouTube channel, so there's one. You watch his channel. Transport Vlog, Paul at Transport Vlog, he's amazing. I've met him a few times, very friendly guy, great videos. Chris Toth is doing great stuff on urbanism in Sydney. I think he's a bit more into cycling and active transport than my channel is, so if you have a thirst for that. And there's also Cities, Trains and Kangaroos, although he's recently renamed himself City Connections. Great channel, delves a lot into rail history, so absolutely go check him out. Those are my 3 picks. What's your favourite Strode in Sydney? By Strode Lover 86. That is a cruel question because I don't love Strodes actually. Favourite Strode in Sydney? Well, favourite in it being a Strode. Like my favourite Strode that is the best at being a Strode, Victoria Road through West Ride is the best at being a Strode, if that makes sense. Like if I was trying to choose the Strode that is the most Strode, Victoria Road, West Ride, absolutely dead. I hate it there. That's why it was the Strode that I focused on in my Strodes video. Easy answer for me. Do you have any plans for expanding the channel either in production values and or content wise? Production values, I don't even know how I would, to be honest with you. Like it's a transport channel. I guess No, no, not really. There's your answer. Content-wise, yes, I would like to start doing some stuff outside of Sydney. I'm going to Singapore in a few weeks, so I'm gonna maybe do a video there. I'm traveling a bit around Asia, so I might do some videos there as well. It'll be the first time I do anything outside of Sydney. So yes, content-wise, production-wise, probably not. I think the channel's already got enough production value as it is, if you know what I mean. Like, you can't really go much more than what I already do. Like, aside from socials, NIMBY and YouTube, is there anywhere else we can find your work on urban design and planning? I love the way you tell stories. Well, thank you, Wayne. That's very nice of you. You can find my website, roadsaustralia.weebly.com, although I don't think it's working anymore. I tried to go to it the other day, and because I don't update it anymore, so I don't check it usually, but I checked it the other day and it wasn't working. I have some stuff on my Reddit. I don't want to tell you my Reddit account, if you're gonna have to find it yourself. But otherwise, no, my YouTube's the best place to find it. That's the truth. Next question. Out of Transport New South Wales' current or historical fleet of vehicles, which is your favorite and least liked? Tim Wee. I have a confession to make. I'm not the best when it comes to rolling stock. I'm just not. You'd think I would be, but I'm not. I'm learning slowly, but no, I'm not that good at it. Like, so I probably can't answer this. The case sets are iconic. I know about them, but I don't really remember what they look like inside. So I've only bought on a case set like once, I think. No, I can't really answer this. It's embarrassing, but I can't. Which are your favorite historical / now closed rail lines? Can you say for city and regional New South Wales? By Philippa. I can only, oh, I nearly tripped. A favorite historical in Sydney. Ropes Creek line, because I've already covered that. Love the Sandown line as well, although I haven't covered that, but you can still see a lot of it. Regional New South Wales, I really enjoyed looking at the Oberon line, which I did for the Bathurst video. And there's also the Murwillumbah branch, or I don't know what it's called. I think it's called the Murwillumbah branch or something, up near Murwillumbah, because my cousin lives in Murwillumbah and I've seen that a bit, and that's pretty cool as well. That's your answer. I want to ask about the 4 new metro lines. When will construction of new metro line from Tarrong to St Mary start, and when estimate the project complete? By Tino P. When will it start? My guess would be 2030, and that's optimistic. When will it finish? 2040. So you're not going to be able to catch a metro from Tarrong to St Mary's until 2040. I know that sounds like a long way away, because it is. I don't have much faith in it being done. It's not exactly the most important corridor. It's simple as that. Like, it's an important link to build, but like, there's not that much between them. I mean, there's Marsden Park, and that's about it. So it's not a massive priority. I absolutely think it should be built sooner. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it will be politically, that's all. How do you feel Sydney compares to other cities in terms of public transport? What do we do right, and what do we do wrong? By Sonny. I don't think Sydney's as bad as a lot of Sydneysiders think. I think we really don't realise how good we have it here. I mean, our suburban rail is close to world class. I mean, you're not meant to be able to get a train every 15 minutes on suburban rail, but you can here. Every 15 minutes, that's pretty good. And it touches a lot of Sydney. What do we do wrong? Well, we have large parts of Sydney you can't get to. The northern beaches, southwest Sydney around like Wetherall Park and Bonnyrigg. That's what we do wrong. Well, there's plenty of other things, but I only have 30 seconds, so yeah. Thoughts on the Brisbane Metro? I'm from Brisbane. Hate it. I hate Brisbane Metro. It's stupid. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being a bit blunt here, but why would you spend billions of dollars on a bus? It's just a fancy bus. I mean, you might as well spend that on light rail or even heavy rail. I'm sorry. No, I don't like Brisbane Metro. I've looked into it a little bit. I think it's a waste of money. I'm sure it'll be good, like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like you'd get more bang for your buck if you were building rail. It's just simple as that. If you had the choice to create a brand new rail corridor right now to benefit of Sydney and all the surrounding regions, where would you build it and why? Love your content. Hello from Wollongong. By Bryce. Well, hello to you, Bryce. Very nice of you to say hi. Norwest to Kogarah. So this was actually alluded to in my Sydney Morning Herald article. I think that's a very important corridor no one's really talking about, because it would allow for inter-suburb journeys. Like, you could get from Kogarah to Parramatta much more easily than you can right now. Like, right now you'd have to go all the way to Central and then all the way out. It would really take the pressure off Central. A lot of journeys to Central are going somewhere else, like outside of Central. Like, you know, you're going somewhere via Central. Norwest to Kogarah line would eliminate the need to go via Central. It would really help. Quick water break. These are fun. It's going much faster than I expected, but 98 questions, like, you know. I kind of do need to limit myself to half a minute answers, otherwise I'm never going to get through them all. Okay, great, start. Oh no, not start. I haven't read the question yet. Sorry. How are you finding UNSW? By anonymous. He or she didn't leave their name. So, that's okay. How am I finding UNSW? I love it. It's really great. Western Sydney Uni, it's okay, but it's like, it's not really quite the same as UNSW. Like it's further west, and it's just it's quieter. Not as many people go. UNSW, so many people are there all the time. Like it's always busy. It's more alive. You feel like you're part of something. Yeah, I just love it a lot more. I love UNSW. It's great. And the degree is great as well, I guess. Not very relevant, but I was just wondering, what do you have set as your phone/computer background? It's always fun to see what different people have. Andrew Zoo. Okay, so phone background, it's Amy. Of course, I mean, I love Amy and wanted her to be my background. That's on my phone. On my computer, it's some really boring thing. But it used to be, this is a bit embarrassing, my background used to be K-pop idols, because I'm a big fan of K-pop. I'll show you some of them now. Yeah, I love K-pop, and for about 2 years, my background was just K-pop idols. Do you have any plans for Melbourne content? Yes, I do. Very easy answer. I'll leave it at that, but I do. That was a very quick one to answer. The reason I'm leaving it at that is because it is much more imminent than you think. Big fan, and maybe don't include this in the vid, but with all your amazing recent media coverage, maybe keep the Q&A more professional, but not fully. Love your style. And serious, because you're getting really noticed. Keep it up, mate. Love the content. Thank you. But no, I think I'm just going to keep it fun. Sorry. I also read your question, even though you asked me not to, so you're probably just like, man, Sharad really stuffed that one up, didn't he? Alright. I have noticed travelling around Sydney that a lot of traffic lights, public transport, pedestrian crossings, or lack thereof, etc. are not as they could be. That doesn't make grammatical sense. That's okay. Where's the best contact to go to if I have a suggestion to fix the problem? Me, because I will single-handedly solve Sydney's transport. I'm joking, obviously no. I think I'm sure there's an email, Transport for New South Wales. I think they have an active transport email or something, so just email them. You are welcome to complain to me. I don't think I can do much though. I could put it in a video, but as I'm sure a lot of you have probably learnt, you'll submit video ideas to me and then I won't end up making them because there's so many, you know, that's just how it is. I'll try make it though, believe me. There's just so many things to cover, and there's only one of me. Will you think the metro from Bankstown be extended to Liverpool and potentially to Nancy Bird Airport? Some suggested a West Hoxton metro line in preserving the existing Leppington line for Sydney Heavy Rail. Maybe for a T8 Mascot to Bradfield Airport link. Holy crap, that is a very long question. Yes, they should. Yes, they should extend it to Liverpool. To Nancy Bird Airport, maybe a bit optimistic. They should, will they? Probably not, I will think, but yes, they should. Yeah, West Hoxton Metro line, I guess, but the problem is it's very low density there. Like retrofitting a metro line into low density is a bit hard. But yeah, no, I'd support it. I would support it. I firmly believe that everyone should get rail access. Would you ever go into politics, or do you feel you'll be most effective directly in public service? By Setowa. I don't think I would enjoy politics. I need to. I know this is like this is not a great quality, but I feel like I need to be liked. Like I don't do well when people hate me. I just don't. I think that's a lot of people, but especially it's worse for some people. I don't think I'd be able to. And politicians are hated. So no, I don't think I would go into politics, but that's never say never, you know, with anything. I would never have thought I'd get to 30,000 subscribers, so. What is your opinion on Canberra's public transport network? I've always wanted to know your thoughts on it, and keep up the great work. By Nigel. Canberra's public transport network is what network? But haha. Seriously though, like they have a light rail, they have some buses, and they have a pathetic train link to Sydney. So no, there's not really much there. It's a very car dependent city. I do like Canberra. I love its layout, but it's a bit too car dependent. So my thoughts: Canberra, you can do better. What is UNSW engineering like, and the best thing that you have learnt there so far? By Jam. I've really enjoyed learning Python, so I did Eng 1811 this term, and it was a lot of fun. I'm not actually done with it yet. I have a test in 2 weeks, which I should probably be studying for instead of filming this, but no, that's the best thing I've learnt there so far, Python. What is it like? It's great. It's great. There's I can confirm the stereotype is true. Engineering is mostly guys, which sucks. I think I could talk about that until the cows come home. I think it sucks. Like a field like engineering only attracts guys. Like why, you know, I'm not gonna get into that. I think we need to do a bit more as a society to make it not like that. Like girls shouldn't feel like they can't do engineering, blah, blah, blah. You know, but I'm not gonna get into that. Let's just keep going. But yeah, I love it so far. Who is your celebrity crush? Oh, okay. I don't really have a celebrity crush. I have characters from sitcoms that I really like. The Office. I've always found Erin cute from The Office. I always liked Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like Amy in real life. And April from Parks and Rec. I always liked them three. I don't think it's a celebrity crush though. It's more like a character crush. They're great characters. I think out of those three, Amy and Erin mostly. Those two characters are so cute. April's a bit scary. I don't know if anyone who's watched Parks and Rec. Great character, but she's a bit scary. But yeah, those would be my top 3 picks, but I don't think they're celebrity crushes. Have you ever looked at a comparison of the expansion of various metro systems in different continents? Say Barcelona, New York, Buenos Aires, Tokyo, Shanghai, Sydney, by David. No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I'm very Sydney specific still. I'm not RM Transit. RM Transit's so smart. He knows so much about like all the different transit systems. But because I talked to him for my video, the collab we did, and he was just so smart. He's so cluey. But no, I could only wish to be as half as smart as him. I only really know Sydney and Singapore. Singapore expanded much faster than Sydney. They built 180 stations in like 35 years. We've built what, 20 or 30? Yeah, that's my answer. I will now have a sip of water because I am thirsty. Great, lovely. Let's have a brief interlude because I've now answered 25 questions. I'm really enjoying my new degree, like because it's been what, I think 3 or 4 weeks since I revealed to all of you that I've switched degrees. Yeah, this has been really fun, and I know I'm getting a lot of what's the word, attention from engineers and from city planners and from people like that, and it's exciting. So you know, I don't know. It's a bit of an overwhelming amount of attention, but it's really cool. And I'm just excited to work in the field. I really am. Like I'm gonna try my best sometime this year, see if I can find some sort of work over my summer break. But certainly when I'm towards 3rd and 4th year, you know, graduate programs and things like that. But it's going to be a challenge as I get further and further into my degree to keep my videos and my job separate. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm just, you know, foreshadowing that, I guess. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. If I'd stayed in medicine, I would have been able to talk about Sydney Metro for the rest of my life. But now, you know, depending on what job I go into, I might not be able to critique Sydney Metro anymore. Anyway, that was a very random interlude. Let's just keep going. This is such a rough video. We often see you wearing a Wallabies cap in your videos. Are you a rugby fan, and what other sports do you follow? By Ian. Before I start the timer, there it is. Oh, there it is. My hair is way too long. I need a haircut so badly. Yeah, that's my Wallabies cap. Start the timer now. Oh, no, I don't follow rugby. That's the ironic thing. I actually just really like this hat. I don't follow rugby. I've never watched the Wallabies play. I don't even know what type of rugby they play. You're probably so angry at me right now, any actual Wallabies fans, that I am repping them and yet I don't know anything about them. My dad just gave me this hat. It wasn't this hat. My dad gave me my last hat. And I broke that one, and then Amy managed to find this online and she bought it for my birthday, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Amy. But no, I know nothing about the Wallabies. I'm an embarrassment to this nation. Bloop. All right. Why do we not use Talgo's gauge changing rolling stock in Australia? I don't know what you're talking about, so that was quick. Sorry, Ross. If you could live in any suburb in Sydney, what would it be and why? Maybe a top 5. Chris Topher. Oh, it's Chris. Hey, Chris. I think I answered this in my last video. I think Chatswood, Rhodes, Walleye Creek are my top 3. Stratfield is pretty nice as well. And 5th. I have 7 seconds. I don't know. Sorry. No. Sorry, those are my 4 picks. I guess nowhere else in Sydney is appetizing to me. How do you get all these collars with Morning Herald, etc.? Well, I think it's just having this YouTube channel. one thing I've learned is if you are into city planning or urbanism or anything, or if you're in transport or anything in Sydney, you have probably stumbled upon my channel at some point. And that includes if you're a journalist. So you probably have come across me, and then if you've come across me, then you want to contact me. So that's how. I'm not actually doing anything actively other than making these videos. It's an honor. I can't believe people want to, journalists want to talk to me, but yeah, that's the explanation. It's because of the channel. It's because the channel's gotten so much exposure through the algorithm. More and more people know me, so they want to talk to me. I don't want to, I'm sorry, I know I said it 30 seconds only. I wanted to address that a bit more. I don't want to sound like I'm full of myself or something. I can't believe that these things are happening to me. Like I'm having journalist articles. Like, that's the one thing I want to be careful of as I keep going through my career. I don't want to become the type of person who is full of myself because of attention, like I want to stay grounded. Even now, like you can ask people who've been in the media, there's a bit of an imposter syndrome, bit of a, you feel a bit self-conscious. It's still an honor. I still would absolutely do it again. But I just want to be careful. Just keep some perspective, I still want to remember always that I'm just a normal person. Actually, give me one moment. It's starting to get a bit hot in here, so I'm going to take my jacket off. It's a nice jacket, isn't it? I really like the color blue. I don't know if you guys can tell. Bloop. Okie dokie. Question 30. Oh, no. What are the suburban centres in Sydney you'd like to see densified around the stations with housing and commercial uses? John Hawes. I think basically anywhere where there's nothing. Like, my local station, Beecroft, doesn't have much around it. Cheltenham doesn't have much around it. Normanhurst doesn't have much around it. Denniston doesn't have much around it. I think Torella down on the T8 doesn't have much around it. I just remember seeing a tweet about that. Just anywhere. Any station that isn't already densified should be densified. It's as simple as that. Oh, and I can't believe I forgot to say it. Sydney Metro Northwest, it needs to be densified. Absolutely. Kellyville, Cherrybrook, Bella Vista, Norwest is already a bit. They all need to be densified. Hill Showground, all need to be densified. That should have been my first answer. That should have been what I said first. It's an optimum residential building height / density to contain urban sprawl. That's a tough one because we definitely need the tall ones. We need the 20-story buildings. We need the 15-story buildings, but we don't need it all to be that. There's a concept called missing middle where you'd have like townhouses, it could be 3, 4, 5 stories tall. It's not that dominating on your skyline, and yet you're still housing so many people. So there's no ideal magic number, but we can have a conversation about all types of density. It doesn't just have to be the 20-story density. Whoa, we're making such good progress. I'm year 8, and just like you, I have been really interested in trains, metros, roads, buildings, and city planning. I'm good at maths, and I'm really interested in physics. Should I study mechanical engineering, civil engineering, or urban planning when I get into university? By Xavier. Civil engineering. I do civil engineering, so of course I'm going to tell you to do civil engineering. Yeah. Urban planning, yeah, but if you're good at maths and physics, then I think civil engineering would be your go-to. Look, I'm probably not the best person to ask because I've only just started, but based on the conversations I've had with other civil engineers and city planners, what I said in my Q&A holds. It's easy to teach a civil engineer how to urban plan, but it's harder to teach an urban planner how to civil engineer. I know that's not a verb, but the skills are more transferable if you start as an engineer, so that's my recommendation. But you do your own research, and all the best, Xavier, with your studies. What are the 10 best bridges in Sydney? Bridget McBridgeface. Oh my god, I need to name 10 bridges in 30 seconds. Sydney Harbour Bridge, Anzac Bridge, Gladesville Bridge, Tarrant Point Bridge is pretty cool. Brooklyn Bridge isn't in Sydney, it's in New York, kidding. It's in Greater Sydney, it's in the Central Coast. Oh, is it the Central Coast? The Spit Bridge, I don't want to say the Spit Bridge because I don't love the Northern Beaches as a place, like the whole NIMBY attitude, but I will say the Spit Bridge because it's iconic. I got to 6 or 7, it's now 2 seconds. I could probably have named more, but I'm on the spot, it's so hard. Have you guys ever played 5-second rule? That's what I feel like I'm playing right now. I feel like I'm playing 5-second rule, but with these questions. What is your favourite train on the Sydney Trains fleet? TF New South Wales V. Yeah, I somewhat know the trains. I'm still learning. The Waratahs, I like the Waratahs because those are the ones I'm probably on the most on the T9. I don't like the Tangaras, some of the Tangaras because they're not reversible seats. The Metro isn't on the Sydney Trains fleet. I do like the Metro though. The V-sets are iconic, but I don't like them that much. I have a friend who loves them for some reason, but I don't really like them that much. Yeah, that's my answer. Waratahs. Can you do a Sydney railway line tier list? Grade from A to F, Henry. Okay. T9, love the T9, that's an A. T1, that's probably an A. It's a bit long, a bit too many branches though. T2 would be a B or a C because like, I think it would be a C because poor Liverpool don't have express services. T8 would be an A, I think T8's pretty good. T7's an F because it's so fucking short. I've done 1, 2, 3. T3 has been screwed over like by successive changes, so that's probably a D. So I've done T1, 2, 3, 4. I should have done this in order. T4 is pretty good, so T4 is an A. T5, T5's an F, definitely. Watch the connections video on that. T6 is close, T7 I've done, that's an F. T8 I've done, T9 I've done. Yeah, that's all of them. Great. Can I be in a future video? At Lucas_Raju. You honestly could.
I stuffed up my answer to this. I thought when I was filming that I wouldn't have revealed the Discord at the start of the video. I thought I was going to reveal it at the end. So I was keeping the Discord secret. Point is, yes, you absolutely can be in a future video. Join my Discord and I'm going to have a channel that's specifically dedicated to organizing film shoots where anyone can come along. So yeah, that's your answer, Lucas.
How did you and Amy meet Sam? I actually said this in my my Q&A video. We met at a GP placement back in second year, like right after COVID. It was a GP placement in Toongabbie, and that's where we met, and we became friends. We were friends for like half a year or something, and then we started dating after that. I crushed on her pretty quickly. I won't say all the details, but she was my celebrity crush. There you go. I crushed on her within like 2 weeks. Let's keep going. So yeah, it was a dream scenario for me. Like it was a dream come true. The way everything worked out was amazing. Because I've crushed before and they never usually go well, but that one did. I'm very happy about that. What metro line in which corridor do you think should be built as soon as possible? Xavier, I already answered that. Norwest to Kogarah. Sorry, Xavier. Great question, but someone already asked it. Will you show us your city and city skylines? I will when I get City Skylines 2. So City Skylines 1, I do have a bunch of cities. That's one that I built. Well, they're both the same. That's another one that I built. But what happens with City Skylines is every update, like old cities get corrupted. Well, with me anyway. I don't know what your experiences are, but they get corrupted and you can't really use them anymore. It's really annoying. So that is why I cannot show them to you just yet. But when City Skylines 2 comes out in October and I build that city, then I will definitely show you. Why does Wollongong have light rail? Declan. Did they build it last night or something? Because yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about it. I didn't know Wollongong had light rail. I'm going to assume that is a typo, and you mean why doesn't Wollongong have light rail? I don't know why they don't. Probably just because it's a worst kept secret that New South Wales only cares about Sydney. Like the New South Wales government doesn't bother with the regions. I hope they start bothering with the regions more. But like every time I go out to the regions, it does kind of feel like they're being left behind and Sydney's the focus. So that's the reason. It's because the government only cares about Sydney. Wow, great job getting to 30,000 subscribers, Charette. Spelled my name wrong, but that's okay. What are your future plans for this channel? It's Bazza. What are my future plans? Just keep going. I've never really had a definitive plan. Like I won't lie, I actually had a goal, 30,000 subscribers by June. So I didn't actually meet that, but it's fine. I've never really had like actual plans. It's always I just take it day by day. I know what you guys love. I know the types of videos you love, and if I keep making those, then things will work out. 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year would be very nice. But we'll see. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be a tentative goal. What suburb do you think is the best to live in and has good infrastructure, design, and cost in Sydney? Silver. Chatswood. Love Chatswood. I would absolutely love to live in Chatswood. Yeah. Very easy. Like, it's a 4-way interchange for crying out loud. I mean, not yet, but it's going to be. You'll be able to take a metro straight to Bankstown. You'll be able to take a train to Hornsby, metro to Epping. You could take a train to Parramatta. It's the best. There's no doubt whatsoever in my mind, Chatswood. Have you ever ridden a bike from Prospect Reservoir to Guildford Station along Old Canal Route? Well, that's an easy one. No. I have not. What are your thoughts regarding Blacktown Station and the suburb as a whole in terms of future growth in the Western Sydney area? Significant investment in this area and interest from companies like Walker seem to indicate that it could develop in a similar fashion as Parramatta. Wonky. I actually agree with you because, no, I completely agree with you. I think Blacktown is going to be the next Parramatta, and I know it's very hard to actually imagine that right now, but I mean, it's a pretty important train interchange. Like, it's a 3-way train interchange. It's what, 10-15 minutes to Parramatta. No, yeah, It's the next logical place going west. It's on your way to St. Mary's, which is where the airport interchange will be. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it will be. What would you do to improve the Sydney to Melbourne line? Danny Dynamite. What would I do? I would watch my fast track high-speed rail video and just do that, basically. Fast Track made an excellent proposal and I did a video for them. Yeah, that's what I would do. Easy. I would like to see a video on Wollongong plan design and will you do it? By Jason. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah, I might. I don't know enough about Wollongong yet, that's the only problem, so I'd have to do a bit of research. So I can't really say much more than maybe. Would you ever consider doing city planning videos in other cities and states? Victoria's regional rail and Perth's Metronet seem pretty exciting, by Zoran. Yes, I would, and I alluded to this a bit earlier. There's something in the works for Melbourne, which is much sooner than you might think. Perth, nothing's in the works for Perth yet. But eventually, I will get to Perth. Because yeah, I think I've realized it would be nice to cover other cities around Australia, not just Sydney. But for now, just Sydney. I only really know Sydney. Why are there only dining and shopping quarters in Australia as far as entertainment goes, and there are no nightlife quarters or electronic quarters or game quarters with arcades and karaoke, etc.? It's all spread out very far apart. Wouldn't such quarters increase tourism? Oh, Fukubinta. Sounds like it's meant to be a swear word. Why? I don't know. You're right. You're absolutely right. I haven't really traveled much. I feel like this is something that's like aimed to someone who's been to other countries where they have these things. But since I've never been, I don't actually really completely know what you're talking about. So I can't probably answer this. Yeah, they probably would increase tourism. Maybe our government's just dumb. It's probably just that, to be honest. Will you ever explore other cities in Australia, like Melbourne or Canberra? I'm a Melburnian and love your Sydney contact. Hope that you can bring your top analysis to our city too. Yeah, I've answered this question like 4 times now. Yes, I will. But it's not your fault. Obviously, you didn't know that the questions would be before yours. Yes, I will. Don't you worry about that. I will. It just might be... I mean, for Melbourne, it's pretty soon. For other cities, it might be a bit longer away. Excluding Sydney, what Australian city would you say has the best public transport network? That would be like asking what city has the best airport, excluding Singapore Changi Airport. Like, you're excluding the best one. And that Sydney is the best in Australia, but that's not a testament to how good it is in Sydney. I mean, it is to some extent, but it's more a testament to how shit it is everywhere else around Australia. Yeah, that's it. Like Sydney, yeah, I mean, I think it's better than Sydney siders think, but it's definitely could be better. But it could be much, much, much better all around Australia. I didn't actually answer the question. Melbourne, but that's obvious. Like, obviously it's Melbourne. If it wasn't Sydney, it'd be Melbourne. What is your next video? Also, I've been here since 6,000 subs. It's been good to watch you grow. Orange Eater, aka Blue Sealy. Yes, I remember you because last video Q&A you asked every question with caps lock on for some reason. What is my next video? That's I don't know if that's the best use of this Q&A portal because you could just wait. I'm kidding. My next video is about the Port Kembla branch. I will leave it at that. You will find out soon. Or actually no, I might do that. It depends on how I edit. Like this might come out after that one actually. So. And yeah, thank you for your praise. Thank you so much for watching since 6,000. You've been watching for a while, thank you. If you could redo your first video uploads, what would you do differently? What would you keep the same? Well, on my Eastwood video, I really didn't think anyone would watch it because I used a webcam. So that was like questionable. The camera quality on that's really bad. I would also film on location. Eastwood is what, like a 10-minute drive for me? I would film on location for sure. I could have easily done that. Same with Castle Hill. But, and this is ironic, when I started my channel, I deliberately tried to make it such that I'd be able to make the video as easy as possible to make so it wouldn't like affect my life too much, which is so ironic in retrospect because this channel has affected my life more than pretty much anything I've ever done, so. Yeah, so basically putting as little effort in as possible did not last very long. How do you start YouTube, Daniel? So it's not how did you start YouTube, that I could answer. How do you start YouTube? You sign up for a Google account, then you go to your channel, go to Studio YouTube, and upload a video, and then you're done. That's how you start YouTube. I think that you could have asked a different question because that's very easy to Google, Daniel. So, you know, try harder next time. Okay, but seriously though, if you're talking about how to grow an audience, it's just persistence. It's persistence. It takes a while. It will eat away at you when you put hours and hours into a video and no one watches it, but it's persistence. You got to just keep at it. Can you do a video with transport vlog, Daniel? Oof, you guys are really making me spoil a lot. I will yet again keep my mouth shut, but there is something in the works on that front.
Well, actually the collab's already out, so yeah, you can go and watch that already.
Not town planning or transport related, but what is your favorite band and music genre? Been watching since the start of your channel. It's so great to have someone actually covering such relatable and local town planning and transport issues. Congratulations for receiving 30,000. Thank you very much, Eagle. I am going to break the rules. I'm going to talk for a bit longer than I should for this one because I just absolutely love K-pop. K-pop is my favorite music genre, and I know a lot of people probably are just like laughing because like you hate K-pop probably because that's like a thing. It's fine. You don't have to like K-pop. Just don't hate me for liking K-pop. My favorite artist. So I have an entire, I have this app called Last.fm. So Last.fm is Spotify Wrapped for the entire year. And not many people know about it. So at the end of the year, you get your Spotify Wrapped, which tells you your top artists or your top song. But then all of us in the Last.fm community are laughing because we're like, well, we've had Spotify Wrapped all year because Last.fm keeps track of your songs and how much you've listened for the entire year. So you can check it whenever you want. Spotify Wrapped, you can only check at the end of the year. I feel like I'm doing like an infrastructure comparison right now, but with like websites. Spotify Wrapped is like is like the T5 Cumberland line, and Last.fm is like the Sydney Metro. I don't know. Yeah, so here we go. This is my Last.fm. There you go. Those are my top songs. So let's read them. And I'm going to play them to you right now as well because I'm just that mean. Number 1, Beam Bam Boom by Rocket Punch. Absolutely love this song. I just love it. It's so fun and poppy. I just love it. It's such a good song. Love Bomb by Promise 9. Very cute song. I have loved this song ever since I was in year 11. It brings me back very strong memories of year 11. And I have listened to it so much that every single year since 2018 it has been in my top 50. OAO by April, that's a pretty nice song too. I don't listen to it as much anymore, but it's a very nice song. Voice by Luna is, mwah, I love Voice. It's the best song. Stan Luna, I know it's a meme. I'm not actually into K-pop stan culture, I just want to disclaim that. Like, I'm not on Stan Twitter or anything like that. Don't worry, I actually purely just listen to the music. Outside by Calvin Harris and Ellie Goulding. That is not a K-pop song. I just have loved that song for a long time, ever since I was in like year 9 or something. So that's just a nostalgia song to be honest, but I really love it. As You Wish by WJSN, cute song, very cute song. Beautiful MV with like space and all of that. ASAP by Steak. I refuse to call them Stacy because they spelt it wrong. They spelt it wrong, so I'm gonna call them Steak because that's how they spelt it, right? I love ASAP. It's so cute. It's so unorthodox, but it's such a cute song. I don't know, it's such a cute song. TT by Twice. I don't listen to that as much anymore, but that's iconic. That for like young Twice fans may not consider that their most iconic song, but older Twice fans, like for years, that was their most iconic song. Like before Fancy and all of, I don't know what their most iconic song now is because I don't actually listen to Twice anymore. Animal by Neon Trees. This one is actually just that one's a bit of a random one. Again, it's an English song. It's a special song to me. I listened to it a lot during lockdown back in 2021. Yeah, it's just a special song to me. I didn't want to go into why, but I will. I have a big mouth. It's because Amy, it was one of the first songs Amy recommended to me back when we just became friends. So that's why it's so special to me. It's because it was like the first song she ever told me that she likes. And so I fell in love with it, mostly because of Amy. And because I was crushing on her very hard at the time. You have to remember that. Fancy by Twice, that's number 10. Love that song. Listened to it a lot in year 12. So yeah, that was a bit of an interlude. There's no Oh My Girl songs in this, which is funny because Oh My Girl are one of my favorite artists, but they aren't in the top 10 for some reason in terms of, they don't have a song in the top 10, but they are my number 2 of all time. I've listened to them second most out of any band. So yeah, I love Oh My Girl. Let us continue. Thank you for putting up with the K-pop that I just played you, unless I got copyright struck. I hope I didn't. I guess, honestly, it should be fine. We'll see. I don't need to put revenue on this video anyway. I could turn it off because no one's going to really watch this video, right? Why didn't you study city planning? Instead, you studied civil engineering. Cry emoji, cry emoji. TT. That's the TT emoji. By Rico, smiley face. I told you why. It's because I think civil engineering will give me a bit more flexibility. No hate on city planners, so like, I was strongly considering city planning. I think for me, it was just, I love maths and I love problem solving and things like that. I feel like I have more of an engineering mind than a city planning mind. And I think it was a gut thing. Oh my goodness, why is it 4 hours now? Crap, what happened? I'm sorry, I set the timer to 4 hours. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, so that's why. No hate on you, Rico. I'm sure city planning is great. And if I wasn't civil engineering, it would have been city planning, so. You are my second choice. Opinion on Dean Park. I don't know anything about Dean Park, so that's my opinion. Opinion on Beaconsfield by Frenchman. I don't know anything about Beaconsfield, so that is my opinion. Opinion on Traeger. Someone's mother. I don't know anything about Traeger, so that's my opinion. I think you can run for state premier one day for New South Wales. You got this, Sharad. Sherlock Holmes. Oh, thank you, Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is very good at like mysteries and detective solving. So that's quite an honor because he solved the case of who's going to be the next premier. It's going to be me. I'm kidding. I don't really want to do politics. I don't really want to do politics. I mean, never say never, but I like, you know, I don't want to be hated. It's just that simple as that. Like, I want to make a difference, but I can make a difference while also not being hated, just in other ways rather than going into politics, you know? Politics is just dirty as well. It's just a dirty game, I feel. But anyway, if you were to choose one public transport project to be built right now, what would you choose and why, Charlie? You guys should have foreseen that this question would have already been asked and not asked it. I'm kidding. It's fine. I already said, so I'm just going to skip that. Question 62. What is your goal you want to achieve in civil engineering, Ethan? I want to be a transport engineer, but I would love some flexibility. Definitely transport, so not really water or sewerage or any of that fancy, or soil, none of that fancy stuff. Wait, is soil? I guess soil would probably link to roads though, actually. But yeah, point is, yeah, roads, rail, all of that, transport. So that's my goal. Public or private sector, don't know yet, so I can't answer that. But you didn't ask that anyway, I just added that on. What are your favorite examples of TOD in regional areas? What? I don't know. I don't know, that's too hard. No, I can't answer that. I have absolutely no idea, I'm sorry. I think there's some places on the Central Coast that have done it okay. I think it might be Wyong and Tuggerah have done decent TOD. But now I can't answer that. I actually don't know. Sorry. I can tell you which ones have done the worst job. Tarrana and Rydal aren't doing very well. What is your favorite type of cheese? By RJ. I have absolutely no preference. Oh no, that's a lie. I like halloumi. If Abhiram is watching, he would know that I love, well, we all love halloumi. He invited a bunch of us and we all had halloumi. It was great. So yeah, halloumi. Abhiram makes a very good halloumi. I'll just say that. What are your opinions on the current state of Sydney's infrastructure? Potter. I don't think it's as bad as people say, but that said, it could be better, obviously, but that's like a lot of things. I don't think it's as bad as people claim. Like, we love to hate on Sydney, but it doesn't deserve it. It's not that bad. Granted, it can be better, but things are improving. You know, the Sydney Metro is coming up, and people are becoming much more public transport, keen, I guess. Like, people are more keen to use public transport, and as that, you know, it's going to be a vicious cycle, right? The more people who want to use public transport, the more public transport that'll get built, blah, blah, blah. If you could change history, would you extend the ECRL to Parramatta and route the Hills Metro direct to the CBD? If I could change history, I would absolutely, yeah, Epping, Parramatta to Epping rail link, absolutely I would build that. And I would route the Hills Metro via Gladesville and via Ryde. That's what should have been done all along. It should never have gone to Epping, but it would have been more expensive to route it through Ryde, but it would have been worth it. And if they built the Parramatta to Epping rail link, they wouldn't have even been able to link the Hills Metro to Epping anyway. So they would have had to build it to somewhere else, and they probably would have chosen Gladesville and Ryde, and it would have changed so much. So that's what I would do. Hey Shout, congrats on the 30K man, it's an awesome achievement. Thank you, Gus. I was wondering if you would ever make a video covering the Canberra light rail. Again, congratulations. Yeah, I think if I go to Canberra, that would be the thing I make. So if I go to Canberra, that's the video I would make. I'd make it about Canberra light rail. Very simple, very nice and easy question. Let's keep going. You're now the CEO of Transurban. What's the first thing you do? I will shut it down and sell all the motorways back to the New South Wales government at a loss so that they don't have to charge any more tolls. That's what I would do. And then I would vanish so that they can't sue me, so that Transurban can't sue me. Are you going to play City Skylines 2? Oh, come on. Of course I'm going to play City Skylines 2. Even without having listened to my earlier part of this video, yeah, of course. Come on. Like, if so, will you post any CS2 content on your channel? Yeah, I think I would. I haven't done anything like that before, but I think I would, yeah. Will you start a group based on Sydney urban planning? By Luca. I don't, I mean, we have Sydney YIMBY. You're more than welcome to join Sydney YIMBY. Sydney YIMBY, not Sydney LIMBY. Yeah, join Sydney YIMBY. That's probably the best recommendation I can make. I'll link it in the description for you. I'm going to start doing some more videos to do with Sydney YIMBY, I reckon. But no, I will not start a group based on Sydney urban planning because there's already Sydney YIMBY. And I'm already busy enough as it is with this channel. Why do you believe the proposed metro to the new airport doesn't go straight from Para? I'm Melburnian, so maybe I'm misunderstanding the geography of Sydney's west, but wouldn't it be better to connect directly to Para first? Why do I think it's just because the distance is longer? It's very simple, Seth. It would be much longer distance to take it all the way to Parramatta. St Mary's is closer to the new airport, so that's it. It's actually not that complicated. But I mean, you're right. It would make more sense. It would just be more expensive, so that's why. I think they will build it eventually, but we're talking 20 years down the time frame, but we'll see. Don't hold your breath, don't hold your breath. Hope for the best. Hope for the best is the best way to put it, I reckon. Do you think a Carlingford to Epping rail connection, whether it be metro or light rail, will ever happen in the near future? Coming from an avid user of the Carlingford Epping corridor. As a heavy rail or a metro, no. I don't think it'll happen as a metro. As a light rail, possibly. It will be a long way away, and it would be the type of thing that'd be a very political move. It would be like, oh, we're worried we're going to lose the Carlingford seat, or I think it's Bennelong, or I don't know what seat it is. You know, it'll be a political thing, I bet. But light rail is possible, heavy rail, no. Sadly, no. As much as I would love it. In your opinion, what is the most well-constructed suburb in Sydney? By Shannon. Chatswood, 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 Chatswood. What made you want to start YouTube as a career path, and why Building Beautifully? I mean, this isn't my career though, so this is just something I'm doing for now. I know I say that now, and maybe something will change. Maybe I'll decide this is going to be my full-time job, but it's not. I mean, it pays all right, but it doesn't pay enough to be a job. I'm sorry. It's nowhere near it. It does not pay anywhere near enough for me to rely on this as my income for the rest of my life. But what made me want to do it? It was just because I was in medicine and I was kind of hating it, and I wanted an outlet for my passion for all of this. So if you are still interested, Lily, check out my why I switched from medicine to civil engineering video. I talk about it all in that video. Will you attempt to make more videos about the regions outside of Sydney? I think there are many interesting things on the Central Coast. Congrats on 30,000 subscribers. Thank you, Dylan. I nearly said Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. Yeah, I would like to regions outside of Sydney, yeah. Illawarra, I mean, I have a video coming out about Illawarra soon, or it's already come out, depending on what order I'm doing this in. I still don't know. Like, will this be before or after my Port Kembla line? I'm not sure. Central Coast, I don't think I've done a Central Coast video. I've done a Hunter video. I did the Hunter Economic Zone. So yeah, no, I will though, because I already have. That's why. It's simple. I mean, even Malden Dumbarton was outside of Sydney, so so I already have. So and I will continue that. How does Bankstown rank in your beautifully built suburb rankings? Is it good for TOD and stuff like that? Confession, I don't think I've actually ever been to Bankstown. I've driven through Bankstown, but never actually been into Bankstown, so I'm not the best person to answer this. I actually pride myself on like the fact I've been to most parts of Sydney, that no, I have not been to Bankstown, so I can't really comment. How does Sydney and Singapore compare on the urban planning scale? By, I think that's my dad, actually. I think he submitted that question. How do they compare? Well, nowhere, like, Sydney does not hold a candle to Singapore. Singapore just do things so efficiently. Very good, efficient land use. Very, very, very good MRT system. Even their bus network's amazing. 57% of people in Singapore take public transport to work. It's only like 20% here. So it's so much more in Sydney, not in Australia. In Sydney, like the rest of Australia is even lower. So no, we don't hold a candle to Singapore. Very simple. It's sad. I wish we did, but we don't. Do you ever plan to hire more people to the Building Beautifully team? Do you do all the editing and recording yourself? I do all the editing and recording myself. Yes, it takes so long. I do it all on my own, like from the editing and the acting. Like sometimes you'll see people in my videos, but they're mostly just accompanying me. They'll help me a bit with filming, but most of it's just me. I'm not trying to flex or anything. I'm just saying it's just very exhausting. Do I plan to hire people? No, because I can't afford to. I enjoy doing it on my own. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Like, you guys are welcome to help me in terms of research and stuff, but I can't afford to hire anyone. Volunteering, yes, you can volunteer. I can't afford to pay you though, sadly. Will you make a video on the Edmondson Park, Greater Leppington region? I think the development they're talking over there is really interesting. By Anonymous. By Anonymous? It's so boring. You can do better than that. Yeah, I will. I probably will. But I mean, I say this every time. I say I'm going to do a video and then I don't because I have so many videos I want to make. But yeah, I would like to do a video on that. Yeah. So I don't have much more to say than that. Should governments do e-bike rebates? Yes. I'm going to leave it at that. What do you think is the coolest or best city in Australia outside of Sydney? Lucas from the north. Ooh. I did enjoy staying in Brisbane, but I actually really liked Hobart. I'm going to say Hobart. I know that's a surprise probably for most of you, but look, Brisbane was great, but it's not that dissimilar to Sydney. But what made Hobart so special is because I felt like I was in a different country. I mean, like I know I was in Australia, but out of anywhere I've been in Australia, Hobart felt the least, like it felt the most different. It was still Australian, but it felt the most different in a great way. It was so unique, it was just so special. Yeah, Hobart, I'd say Hobart. The building height restriction in Sydney was lifted in 2016, but are we likely to ever see any buildings above 300 meters by Lords? I doubt it. Skyscrapers are expensive, man. I don't think so. You never know though. I think they're overrated. You don't need to go over 300 meters. What is your favorite railway line? Both abandoned and working line, by James. The Port Kembla line is so cool. If this is coming out after that, you'll know why. If this video is coming before my Port Kembla line, then you'll find out in like a week. But I love the Port Kembla line. Like, it was so cool. It was just, yeah, that's my favorite working line, although it basically is abandoned. So I think Port Kembla line is a good answer for both abandoned and working, because it is a working line, but it's basically abandoned because no one uses it. So there you go. Epping Station area. The intersection with Carlingford Beecroft Road is a nightmare, and the right turn from Epping to Blackstone is too. How would you fix it properly, Epping girl? Ooh, that's a hard one. That's hard. I don't know. I don't think I have the answers. There's no magic bullet with that intersection. People want to widen the bridge, and I'm tempted to say that is probably the best option, but then also that encourages car usage. So, I don't know. I think the best solution is probably just to build that light rail, because then the one I suggested through Eastwood and through Macquarie Park is then you'll get less cars, you'll get more cars off the road because they'll be able to use the light rail instead. So I guess that would be my fix. It's just going to be expensive, but that's if you want to fix it properly. Assuming the light rail and Metro West are built, what's the next most important infrastructure Parramatta needs? Northwest to Cogra, I think, because it really, you can get to Sydney from anywhere around the city, but you can't get to Parramatta unless you pretty much are already at Central. That needs to change. Or Carlingford now, I guess, or Liverpool. So there are some places you can get to Parramatta without having to go to Central, but then there's too many where you can't. Like, if you live in Hurstville, forget about it. You have to go through Central. If you live in Chatswood, you have to go through Central. So Northwest to Cogra, that would be what I would say. Oh, we're done. Do you use Discord? If not, do you plan to make a Discord server to help? Do you use Discord? If not, do you plan to make a Discord server? Well, as I said at the start of the video, yes, I have made a Discord. Please make sure you join. That will be very exciting for all of us. And yeah, you can help Electric Taco. I would absolutely love your help. To answer your first question, do I use Discord? No, not really. So this is my first kind of foray into Discord, and I'm not very good. I'm not the best at managing it, so I can use all the help I can get. So yeah, please reach out. What if Sydney train network only used single-decker train? Lucas Transport Channel. Oh my god, that would like help so much because our dwell times are so long, right? Because so basically, for those who don't know, because of our double-decker trains, it takes longer for people to get off the train. So that means the trains need to wait longer at each train station, which means trains go slower. So if we had single-decker trains, people would be able to get off faster, like with the metro and like with most other normal cities. Granted, you'd be able to fit less people on the train and less people would be able to sit, so that's one thing to consider. But yeah, I mean, why do you think every other city uses single-decker trains? It's because there's nothing wrong with them. Unrelated to city planning, what primary school did you attend? Murray Farm Primary, public. I attended Murray Farm. So any Murray Farm kids class of, well, I started in 2007. So if you started at Murray Farm in 2007, hit me up. And I also went to Beecroft from 2012 and 2013. So if you were in my Beecroft AC class, Mrs. Host, she was quite the character. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, yeah, so you hit me up too if you remember me. Or if you don't remember me, but if you feel like you should remember me because I was in your class. I don't know. Can you do an episode with a deep dive into your plans for Sydney's light rail or future? I think that would be really interesting and fun to watch. Thank you. Bye, Xavier. Yeah, I don't know what our light rail future is, so there's any problem. So, it would be fun and interesting to watch. I just don't know what it is. That's any problem. I might. And the sad thing is, Xavier, is usually I say maybe. So if I'm saying might, that's pretty dire. That means I probably won't. But we'll see. You can hope. Why is the Georges River so dead compared to the Parramatta River? I think a ferry service from Cronulla to Liverpool would be interesting to see. I don't know why, but my guess would be maybe it's just not deep enough. It's probably shallow. Also, I can't imagine many people need to go from Cronulla to Liverpool. I mean, they should. Like, if you made the service, then you'd be able to... But the ferries are slow as well. Like, Parramatta to Sydney takes ages. You'd rather take the metro or the train, right? But yeah, no, you're not wrong, because what if you live in Voyager Point or Picnic Point, you know, then you'd be able to use the ferry. Yeah, so, more power. Do you think there is an opportunity for Denniston to be densified even the slightest in order to allow easier access to the city? Yes. Densify Denniston. Oh my god, please. It's too low density. It's just houses. And I know I, live in houses, but like I don't live next to a train station. Honestly though, I'd be happy to see a few apartments in my area because we have the M2 bus stop, and it's not fair that we get that and we aren't maximizing that. So yeah, in my area, densify in my area, densify in West Pennant Hills, and densify at Denniston Station. If you have good public transport access, densify there. It doesn't even have to be like 20 stories. It could even be 3 or 4 stories. It could be soft density, you know? It doesn't have to be a massive tower. Have you ever considered being Transport Minister? I seriously recommend working hard for that title. No, I don't think I will be a politician, but like, the more I say it in this video, the more I'm like, what if like, I do decide to be a politician and then someone digs up this video in like 20 years and it's like, oh, but Sharad said this, he said he didn't want to be a politician, he called politicians slimy. So I might be shooting myself in the leg by doing this video, but I just can't see myself wanting to do politics. But then people change, so I don't know. Have I considered it? No, I don't think so, not really. I'd rather just work in civil engineering, to be honest. I don't really want to be a politician. Do you think it was a great location for Sydney's second airport? Did we need a second airport? I feel like you've missed some words in that question. Yeah, Badgerys Creek was a great location. I don't think you could have chosen a better place. Like, it's perfect. Like, it's out in the middle of nowhere because you want an airport to be in the middle of nowhere. Chris O'Keefe did a report this morning about how it's in the middle of nowhere, as if that's a problem. It's actually a good thing because you don't want there to be people. Otherwise, if there's people there, you end up with a curfew, and that's what ends up causing problems. So, yeah, it's a great location. Did we need one? Yes, absolutely we needed one. Kingsford Smith is at capacity. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel and discuss about transport in Sydney? Well, if you're more interested, check out my leaving medicine for civil engineering video. That's why I started, explains why. I just love transport. I mean, that's why my wall is covered in maps. I just love transport. I love urban planning. I just love it. I don't think there's any topic at all that I love more than this. So that's why, because I saw other YouTube channels doing it, but they mainly focus on other countries, like mainly America. So I was like, I'll do it in Sydney. It was never meant to get this big. I was only ever planning to get to 1,000 subscribers. What do you think is the most effective solution to give transport access to those who live on peninsulas? Ferries. I think ferries. Okay, we'll just leave it there. When construction Sydney Metro from Tallawong to St Mary's start? And when estimate completed? Thanks. That's not the best grammar, but that's okay. I think I already answered this earlier. I think it's not going to start till 2030, if that's earliest. Earliest is 2030. When will it be completed? 2040. That's it. That's done. 2 questions to go. Woo. When, at which age did you get into public transport and urban planning? Riley the dude. Yes. Riley follows me on Twitter. Hello, Riley. I see you a lot. I know you're a very keen fan. What age? Well, I would have been like 8 when I got into... It was roads first. Again, if you want to check out my video where I talk about me leaving medicine for civil engineering, I talk about it there. I think it was about the age of 8, so it's a very long time. But that was roads. Urban planning wise was much later, honestly probably about 17 or 18, so I was much older. But I mean, and oh, you said public transport. Yeah, public transport would have been about 18 as well, actually. So it's maybe even embarrassingly late, to be honest with you. Okay, finally, here we go. We're finally doing the last question, question 98. Which city in Australia would you vote to win the Built Beautifully Award in 2023? I think just Sydney, because I feel like we just do it best here. I'm sorry, I guess I'm a snobby Sydney side. I just love Sydney, and I think we do it. We do it best here. We have a great public transport system. It's a beautiful city. We have a beautiful harbour, some beautiful TOD, beautiful buildings. Barangaroo I think it's beautiful. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love it. Yeah. I think that was a very easy question and anticlimactic ending. I'm kidding. Great. So we have just finished answering all the questions, and I think that was about a 50-minute long Q&A. I hope I answered your questions adequately. I am sorry that I had to limit it to 30 seconds. I just would never have gotten this video done if I did it longer. But that was great. You guys asked some really great questions, so I'm sorry if I made fun of any of you. One thing about YouTube is it's hard to believe people are watching this right now. Like, you have to remember, I'm talking to a phone right now. I'm not talking to people. So it's hard in my mind to remember sometimes that there's someone on the other side of the screen right now. That kind of makes it easier to make jokes. But seriously though, thank you for asking those questions. Thanks to almost 100 of you. I had a lot of fun answering those. Let's go and play some NIMBY Rails. Hello, so you may notice that I am wearing different clothes and that I have gotten a haircut. It has been 2 weeks since I recorded the rest of the Q&A. I recorded it all about 2 weeks ago. And then I just didn't edit it for 2 weeks. And then I also filmed my NIMBY Rails part where I was playing NIMBY Rails. But it turns out that the recording didn't come through very well. So basically it was lagging, my screen recording program, OBS, it was lagging like crazy. It was like, one frame every half a minute. I'm not joking right now. It would freeze every half a minute. It was like horrible. So you couldn't, I was like talking to the camera, but then you couldn't see at all what I was doing. So I have to redo it all. But yeah, so here I am now, and well, let's get right into it. So NIMBY Rails, you can see right here, I'm playing it. Where's my mouse? There it is. And it's a pretty fun game. I've been pretty busy, so with uni this term, so I haven't played it very much. You'll find I played it before the uni, before I started my UNSW term. I played it a lot, and then I didn't play it at all until 2 weeks ago when I recorded. Like I did a whole recording, like a 20-minute recording of me playing, and then I can't use any of it. And this is the first time I'm playing since that, and that was 2 weeks ago. So point being, I don't play NIMBY Rails that much anymore, but I did play it quite a bit about, you know, back when I hadn't started uni yet. And as you can see, I accomplished quite a lot. So why don't we take a dive in? Before we do, I'll give you a bit of a background into NIMBY Rails. So NIMBY Rails is a game where you can basically build a railway anywhere around the world, anywhere. So you could build it in Singapore if you wanted, you could build it in Japan, you could build it in China, you could build it in India, you could build it in London, and I'm sure it's no surprise to any of you that I chose Sydney, because that's where I'm from, and I know Sydney the best, and so yeah, that's where I decided to build it. Yeah, so why don't we dive in and just see what I've done with Sydney. So obviously, fantasy map, fantasy railway system, I can build whatever I want. For the most part, I kept a lot of it the same, but I have made some changes. You'll notice straight away it does look a little bit complicated. Like you see all of these like random icons and it's a little bit cluttered. NIMBY Rails is probably not a game for just like it's not a game for everyone. Like, how do I put it? It's a very complicated game. I feel like you'd have to be very diehard into trains to be willing to put in the time. I mean, anyone can put in the time. I just think it's probably going to be, it's a bit of a draining game. It's a bit of a learning curve. But if you love trains, if you're very passionate about them, you you love fantasy maps, then this is definitely the game for you. Trust me on that. It's definitely worth it if you are willing to put in the time to learn it, because it is a steep learning curve. But if you're willing to put the time in, very much worth it. I promise you that. So why don't we dive in and check what I've done. So there's the T9, beautiful railway, that's my local line. I didn't do too much to the T9, you'll find. Let's have a look at the Metro West. I think that's probably the one most of you are interested in because of course it's been in the media a lot lately. We have Hunter Street, Piermont, sorry, where's the Bays? There's the Bays. The Bays, and I added a station at Lilyfield. So obviously you may have probably watched my, sorry, give me one moment. You probably would have watched my video all about the Metro West problem, right? And in that video, I talk about, you know, why they didn't build enough stations. Chris Minns himself is talking about that lately. He's kind of struggling to find the balance between there's not enough stations on the Metro West and we should cancel it. Like, you know, if there's not enough stations, you're going to have to spend more. But also he wants to cancel it because it's too expensive. I don't know, it's a bit of a... He's just playing politics with it. Yeah, I put a station. Lilyfield 5 Dock's already getting a station. Burwood North's already getting a station. North Stratfield's getting a station. Olympic Park's getting a station. There's no station planned at Silverwater. I think I put one at Silverwater. On second thought, I'm not sure I'd do that again. But I put one there. It's because it's mainly an industrial area. I don't feel like they need a station. But I did put one at Camellia. So that's the one where a lot of people are talking about, oh, Camellia needs a station. I completely agree. I talked about it in my video all about the Metro West problem. Yeah, absolutely. I think Camellia needs a station. So that's why I put one there. The tunnel alignment, I changed the tunnel alignment. So it's actually meant to be more like that. So I changed it so it could be like that. It's meant to be more, so here it's concave down for those mathematical minded of you, but it's actually more of a concave up alignment there. And then Parramatta Square, and then Westmead. Now in my last video, where I recorded it 2 weeks ago and then it glitched, in that video it was all about, well, I showed you all the Metro and then I ended up extending the Metro West to the east, but that recording completely broke, so I can't use that now, so I'll just have to run through it again. So Hunter Street, then I put a station in Woolloomooloo, I put a station in Darlinghurst, I put a station in Moore Park, and then I did this really strange thing where I went west to Zetland, and then back east to UNSW, and it looks so crazy on a map, doesn't it? Like, it kind of makes it very clear that that's probably not feasible, because I've seen a lot of proposals online. You know, we need a station at Zetland, we need a station at Moore Park, but I think my map probably makes it abundantly clear. Like, just look how big a detour it needs to take. I think it makes it abundantly clear. It's either at Moore Park or it's at Zetland. You can't do both. It's simple as that. And then I think I did one at Juniors Kingsford as well, then Maroubra, and then Malabar, and then La Perouse. What else did I change? I gave UCIT a station on the Sydney Metro City because I think it should have been built at UCIT. I don't think it should have been built at Waterloo. I did an interview with Oniswa a few days ago about that, so that'll be out either in a few days or it depends on when this video comes out. Yes, so, but yeah, I did an interview with them about, you know, building a metro station at UCIT. Definitely, I think UCIT needs a metro station, but probably not on the Metro West. It doesn't make sense on the Metro West. I mean, look where the Metro West is. It's all the way here. It's all the way there. The purple line's all the way there. UCIT's all the way here. It doesn't make geographic sense. So I think a light rail. I think a light rail would better serve UCIT. But if I could go back in time, I would give UCIT a station on the Sydney Metro City instead of Waterloo. So that's where it's going instead. It's going to Waterloo. And you'll see Waterloo here. That's Waterloo. I ended up just putting it on the T8 because I can do whatever I want. I think it makes sense to put it on the T8 instead of just going all the way from Central to Green Square, no station in between. What's with that? Like, you can put one at Waterloo, you know? So what else did I do? Not too much more. I just added stations here and there, you'll find. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I just added stations here and there. Like, I gave Moorebank a station. I think Moorebank needs a station. I mean, like, when you look on paper, it doesn't really feel like it needs one, but then I think they are doing some development there right now. And it just feels like there's such a big gap between Holsworthy and Glenfield. Why not put a station at Moorebank, you know? I also moved Kajula Station. So for those of you who don't know, Kajula is one of the most strangely located train stations in Sydney. What was this? No, it's not T. I've forgotten that there's a YouTube channel that did a video about Kajula Station, and I'm mind blanking on what it's called. I'm really sorry if you're watching. But he did a very good video on Kajula. He also did a video on Leightonfield. So go Google that. There's a pretty good YouTube channel. What else did I change? I didn't change much else. Obviously, you can see I built the Parramatta Light Rail. Yeah, so I built the Parramatta light rail as it's going to be, like going to Carlingford, but then for those of you who remember my video about the Parramatta light rail problem, I also built my alignment, which starts at Parramatta, goes along Victoria Road, goes along Kissing Point Road, goes along the Eastwood County Road corridor, goes to Eastwood, stop at Eastwood, goes all the way to Macquarie University. There you go, boom. So the uncrossable zone is suddenly crossable because you can get from Chatswood, Macquarie, Epping, and you can get all the way to Parramatta without needing to get on a bus. So problem solved. I think they should build that. I hope I'm being a prophet about this, and I hope they do end up building it. I don't think they will, but I hope they do. You never know. I mean, we're becoming a more public transport friendly city. I'm 21. I'm going to be working for the next 50 years. Who knows what'll happen in the next 50 years? Maybe something big will happen. And also I built high-speed rail. So here's Sydney Olympic Park. This beige, brownish orange line is a high-speed rail between Olympic Park and Canberra. Would you believe that? Isn't that crazy? So you can go from Canberra. I'm going to just speed this up because it's currently 3 a.m. That's the other thing. It actually has real life time. So yeah, but you can speed it up obviously. And it's a Wednesday. Part of the steep learning curve of NIMBY Rails is the fact that scheduling trains is very hard. So for anyone who's played, you'll understand. If you haven't played, you will understand very soon. So yeah, high-speed rail between Canberra and Sydney Olympic Park with a stop at, well, Olympic Park. I think I put a stop at Glenfield as well. Yep, I put a stop at Glenfield. I put a stop at Campbelltown or Macarthur. I think it would have been at Campbelltown. No, I put it at Macarthur actually, never mind. I put it at Macarthur and then a stop at Mittagong. No, not at Mittagong, sorry. A stop at Mossvale, a stop at Goulburn, and then a stop at Canberra. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, nice. Not much else to talk about. I didn't build the Western Sydney Airport Metro yet. I'll build that some other time. And yeah, so yeah, it's a pretty fun game. Oh, and I extended the metro to Schofields. I know some people were asking about that, like why didn't they build it all the way to Schofields? Well, boom, I did it. I built it from Tallawong to Schofields. So now, what I was thinking, I had a lot of questions about building you know, what metro line would I build if I could, and I kept answering Norwest to Kogarah. So I thought, why don't we build that? Why don't we build the Norwest to Kogarah metro line? Now, I don't remember so I proposed the Norwest to Metro Kogarah line. I'll start building it while I'm talking. I proposed the Norwest to Kogarah metro line in my metro video like many months ago, in December actually. I proposed that, so I put one at Norwest. I don't remember where I put the stations though, but I remember vaguely. So I know I put one at Crestwood. I'm gonna do this very roughly because I don't want this video is already too long as it is. It's already 1 minute long. 1 minute, I wish. It's already 1 hour long, so I'm gonna try and just do this a bit quickly. You can get a bit of a feel for how to build stations. So right now, I'm plotting the stations. It's not permanent until I press that. So the stations aren't permanent, but that said, I just play with unlimited money, so it doesn't matter anyway. If you play, I think you can restrict how much money, but you can restrict it to what money you earn from the system. But I play with unlimited money, so it doesn't make a difference for me. Northmead, yeah, I will put a station in Northmead. I think probably here makes the most sense. I know Northmead somewhat. Yeah, it's a bit of a big gap, but I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I would put one in North Parramatta, maybe at Benowd, I don't know how to say that, sorry. Benowd Oval, we'll put it there. So it's somewhat close, but it's still its own station. Obviously you have an interchange at Parramatta Square, metro station. And then I believe in my proposal, I put one near the M4. I put it here somewhere. Maybe we will leave that for now. We'll just go to Granville. We'll put a metro at no, maybe not Granville. Maybe South Granville. I think South Granville is good. Yeah, put one at South Granville. And then I think we will put one at Chester Hill. I believe that's what I remember now. I put one at Chester Hill. And then I put one at Bass Hill. So we'll put it there. And I know I'm rushing a little bit. I want it to be quick, but ooh, what's going on here? I don't know what I don't know what all those are. Sorry. I'm rushing a little bit. Normally I'd probably be a bit more delicate with it. I just don't want this video to be too long. But normally I go to Google Maps, I actually check, oh, this location makes sense, that location makes sense, etc. You know? So let's put one at Bankstown next, and we'll just put it like that. So you can interchange there. I remember I put one at Punch Bowl South. I think it would have been about there. And then I definitely remember putting one at Roselands. And I think this is the Roselands shopping center there. And I remember there's a really nice empty piece of land there, which I thought would be perfect. Would be perfect for a station. And then I think I chose Kingsgrove as the interchange. I don't remember. So don't quote me on that. And then Bexley can get a station because Bexley North has a station, but Bexley doesn't. And then Cogra, boom. Okay, so there's your Norwest to Cogra line. I've just built the stations, but I haven't built the track, so that's the next part. You'll notice that there's also, you can choose levels. So -2, -3, ground. I will choose -2. So -2 obviously means underground. And it would be more expensive, but that's fine because I'm playing with unlimited money. Wouldn't it be amazing if we had unlimited money? Wouldn't that be wonderful? So, I had some people say Norwest to Cogra, why not Castle Hill to Cogra? Yeah, look, yeah, Castle Hill to Cogra makes sense too. I think Norwest to, honestly, either one. I think maybe Castle Hill to Cogra does make more sense. I think the reason I always say Norwest to Cogra is that's the one that Transport for New South Wales proposed in their like future transport strategy doc. So I'm kind of just defaulted to that with that. Oh, okay. So here you can just press Control Z. My alignment was going a bit wacky there. There we go. So Northmead, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the accessibility of Northmead and Balcombe Hills. Like, it's called the Hills Shire. It's named after Balcombe Hills, and yet Balcombe Hills is, funnily enough, probably has the worst public transport accessibility of the whole hills. I mean, they do have the M2 direct buses to the city, but that's about it. No real train station. Like the closest train station is all the way at Castle Hill or I think Seven Hills. So it's a little bit of a distance, unfortunately, for Balcombe Hills residents. Really got shortchanged, especially because the Parramatta Light Rail was meant to go to Castle Hill and Balcombe Hills, and then it didn't. So they really got shortchanged. So I'm thinking from Parramatta, you could probably put a station between Parramatta and South Granville, but then there's already enough stations. So for the sake of it, for the sake of simplicity, let's just put one like that. Let's not put one in between because there's already stations there. Interchange at Chester Hill. Yep, and then Bass Hill. I'm not familiar with Bass Hill, really. And then Bankstown. So I think you could probably put a station in between the two, but we'll just leave it for now. Between Bass Hill and Bankstown. Again, you know, just for the sake of time. Okay, we'll put it there, boom. Okay, and then from Bankstown, I think the next one was Punchbowl South, we said. Oh, I'm kind of screwing up the alignment. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Okay, and then Roselands. Another thing, you can rename stations, which we'll do in a moment. And then Kingsgrove, and then Bexley, and then Cogra. And boom, suddenly it's so much easier to get to Parramatta from anywhere in Sydney, just with that. How long is this railway line? It looks like I have built 76 selection, there we go. How do I find, I don't know how, sorry, I don't actually know how to find out how long the line is, sorry. I think we can find out when I make the railway. So right now I built the infrastructure, but then you have to actually create the railway itself, like the route. So why don't we build that? Boom, now it's built, now the railway actually exists. And now is the fun part, we can actually create a line. And this is where, again, steep learning curve kind of comes into place because it's not, like, I think in City Skylines it's somewhat intuitive, but in this game it's not as intuitive. So we'll call it the M, so I built an M1 and M2, there would be an M3, that would be the airport line, so we'll call this the M4. The M4 Norwest to Cogra line. What color? Well, let's choose light blue, just again, like, just don't want to take too long. Add stops to the line. So this is where you have to actually choose the platforms. Okay, and then this is, what is this? Basic mode, yeah, okay. So, yeah, so Cogra, this is getting cluttered. How do I, sorry, it's very cluttered right now. I haven't played this in a while. Okay, I'm sorry, it's just gonna be cluttered. Okay, so yeah, one thing I screwed up when I was making, when I started this game, I put all the trains on the right instead of the left. And then I only noticed about like when it was too late, basically. So I noticed after I'd built like 4 lines that, oh crap, I put all the trains on the right instead of the left. So now they're forever going on the right, like it were in America. So that's annoying. If I were to restart, I would do it on the left. And that's my advice to you guys. Make sure you start the trains on the left. Don't screw up the way I did. So yeah, so Chester Hill, South Granville, straight to Parramatta Square. Parramatta North. Oh, it's North Parramatta. It's not Parramatta North. Isn't that weird that the school is called Parramatta North? Because it's definitely North Parramatta, the suburb. And then Crestwood's a bit of a, Balcombe Hill, sorry, that's a bit of a gap. Maybe there could be a station in between. Then Crestwood, and then Norwest. And then here's the annoying part, because I have to go all the way back down again. So it doesn't do the loop for you, which makes sense, because not every line is in a perfect loop. Although in Sydney, yeah, I guess it probably are. But then some lines continue to other lines, don't they? Not all lines will loop back. Like they'll continue, like a T9 service will continue as a T1 service or something. That's a level of complexity I haven't even begun to explore in this game. I suspect it's possible. Like you could have a service, it's definitely possible. You can have a T9 service continue to a T1 service or something, but that is a level of complexity that I've not even begun to dream of. It's a very complex game, but that's what makes it so fun. It's one of those games where it's like, if you want to go complex, you can go complex. If you want to stay simple, that's a bit hard though. Like it's not necessarily, you can't necessarily go both ways. You can't have it, yeah. Okay, that's basically it. That's the Norwest to Kogarah line, boom. Okay, so that's the fun part. Did I build it as a train or a metro? I think I would have it as a metro. So with that said, now we can add rolling stock to the line, and that's where we get to have some fun with it. So where is my line? It's not here for some reason. So purchase pre-configured train. So someone was kind enough to create a mod for the Sydney Metro, which is very nice of them. Okay. So there you go. So someone in this game, apparently the community is big enough that someone actually created this mod, a specific asset of the Metro. Isn't that so nice of them? Okay, so what we can do now is buy it. Okay, so yeah, we'll buy the train. We'll do auto run a line. So that you can do manual, and that's where it gets complicated. For the Norwest to Kogarah line. And this is where I get to choose how many I want. I'm gonna go all out and buy 16. Purchase new trains, boom. Okie dokie. And so what it'll do now is it'll tell me, because I bought 6 trains, first of all, it'll tell me the distance. It's a 72-kilometer line, but keep in mind that is both ways. So from Norwest to Kogarah, then back to Norwest. So it's actually 36 kilometers. Very long. If I had to estimate the cost, Sydney Metro West is about 20 kilometers or so, and that's costing 25 billion. So this would be like $40 billion. That's a lot of money. So yeah, it's probably not gonna get built for a while, but with that said, like I think you would get a return on your investment for sure. Like if you do good value capture, not just that, like it might not be in very tangible economic ways, but just in terms of the Sydney economy, you'd really be able to grow Parramatta with a line like this. How often? So it tells you, yeah, every 4, so auto interval means how often is the train running. So every 4 minutes there is a train, which is really good. So yeah, so let's speed it up. Where are the trains though? I can't actually see them. They mustn't have started running yet. Okay, so this is where I'm a bit confused. Oh, I haven't turned it on yet. Okay, that would be it. There you go. So now the line's actually on. So yeah, you have to actually turn the line on. It's been a while since I played this. So boom. So now look at that. Well, let's rename the stations first. So that's Crestwood. So the good thing about this is it's pretty easy to rename a station. You just press the refresh button a few times and it usually renames itself. Unfortunately, Crestwood is not a suburb, it's just a region. So I had to do that myself. But the rest it should do automatically. So Northmead, I can just refresh. There you go, Northmead. North Parramatta, there you go. Parramatta Square is done. South Granville is already done. Chester Hill is already done. That's Bass Hill. We can press that a few times. There you go. Punch Bowl. I don't think Punch Bowl South is a suburb, so I'll have to do it like that. Roseland should be automatic. There we go. Kingsgrove, Bexley, Kogarah. So there you go. There is the Norwest to Kogarah line that I was preaching about in this whole video, and now it has been built. So a way to make it clearer, like what I've done, I can just turn off a few buttons, and I'll make it much clearer. There you go. So that, oh, we'll just turn off a few more. Why don't we just pause it? We'll just pause the game. There you go. So now it's very nice and clear what I've done with Sydney. Can I show the station names? Yeah, I'm just too zoomed out, I think, to show the names. Oh, it's not showing this. Yeah, I'm just too zoomed out. So I can't show the station names, but you can see where all the stations are located, which is really cool. And you can see just by adding the Norwest to Kogra line how much of a difference that makes. Because, like, without that, now I don't know if there's a way, is there a way for me to, I don't know if there's a way for me to hide certain lines, unfortunately. No, there's no way for me to. But if you just imagine you got rid of that light blue line and also the brown line, it suddenly seems like a much more circumferential system, because that's what Sydney is. Sydney is all about getting people to Central. It's not about getting people to Parramatta, which it should be, because Parramatta is meant to be the third CBD, or second CBD, sorry. So the Norwest to Kogra line would make a big difference. Imagine you're in Hurstville. Like, the route you'd have to take from Hurstville to Parramatta, you have to go all the way in and then all the way out. Parramatta West, the Sydney Metro West will make it faster for you. But imagine this, like imagine you live in Hurstville, you can just go there and then boom, you can go straight to Parramatta. That's like, you'd probably honestly save 20 minutes. And 20 minutes might not sound like much, but to someone who wants to work in Parramatta, that is a big difference. Because I promise you, most people who work in Sydney work there because it's convenient to get to. And Parramatta is not convenient to get to. So yeah, if by some random chance, like some transport planner or politician is watching this, which I know you're not, but if you are, I reckon you should build the Norwest Metro. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. So I can get to my next few videos, because this one, I've been spending a bit of time on this one, and I have some big ideas coming up. I'll give you some hints, I guess. I have a video collab coming up with Sydney NIMBY. That's pretty exciting. Collab coming up with I'm not even joking right now. My phone literally just ran out of space. So the recording just abruptly stopped. Okay, but yeah, continuing on. Yeah, so I have a collab coming up with a YouTuber down in Melbourne. I will leave it at that. So that's pretty exciting. And I'm going to Singapore in a few days. By the time this video is out, no, this video should be out in like 2 or 3 days. So I won't be in Singapore yet, but I'm going to be in Singapore in a few days. So I'm pretty excited about that. Might do a video there. But yeah, no, there's a bit of exciting stuff coming for Building Beautifully. So be keen about that. Maybe you'll catch me playing NIMBY Rails again. Definitely City Skylines 2 when that's out. But yeah, thank you so much to all of you for supporting me. Thank you to my Ko-fi supporters who support me financially. As I've already said, I could not dedicate as much time as I do to YouTube without you. Thank you, even if you can't support me financially, thank you to those of you who support me just by watching me, because that alone means a lot. Because as I've already said, there can't be a YouTube channel without people watching. So, keep watching. If you love Sydney as much as I do, keep watching Building Beautifully. I promise that there is a lot more to come. I love to think that my best videos still haven't been made yet. That's a great thought, and maybe it's true. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.